No way, Jose.
The following footage proves beyond any doubt that the tanks intentionally set the house on fire. It proves that the Branch Davidians were murdered. You can see that this tank has a gas jet on the front that shoots fire. You can also see the fire quite plainly. The tank goes into the house twice, and each time as it backs out, the fire at the gas jets is plainly visible.
We must all do more to recognize and look for the early warning signals that deeply troubled young people send.
Good morning, good morning. You're watching the No Way Jose podcast. This is the Morning Dump. This is our kind of a research environment type scenario here where we're kind of going through threads, articles, whatever. And we have quite the one for you guys today. We had a big one pop off yesterday. There was an assassination in New York City. So we are going to go through some citizen journalism today to try to see if we can parse some truth out of it. And I didn't really dig into this too much before because that's kind of the vibe of the show. We're working through this together. So this will be fun. This will be all of us working together, trying to solve a crime, or at least get closer to it by digging into stuff that other people did a little bit of research. So this will be fun. Good morning. I see Fire Pixie here. Good morning. Good morning. I'm going a little bit earlier than normal, so this may have thrown it off. Also, this week's a little bit off because normally I've been doing Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays, but yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to do tomorrow either. This might be the only morning dump for the week, but I think we should be back to normal next week. So just letting you guys know. But we have that. We have a few other things to get through today, but I am glad to be with you all today. I'm feeling a little bit better. I don't know if you guys have been following along with all my content, but I was a little bit sick, a little under the weather. You can hear it in my voice probably a little bit, but it's getting better. Every now and then I have kind of like a dry cough type deal, so if I got to mute, I might have to mute and cough a few times here and there, but we'll be okay. I think I make it through. It's not so bad, but good morning from everyone. Everyone's showing up. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get into. We got another good morning, Eddie Grimm. How are you? Let's start off with a cabinet pick thing. Give me a second. It takes me a while to. I fucked up a lot recently. When I mentioned this guy, I don't know. It might have just been Already Dead. I mentioned this guy, Chad Chronister, and I said he was the Tampa sheriff. I was wrong. He's the Hillsborough County sheriff, by the way, and he was the one who was selected to be the director of the DEA by Trump. And this guy sucks balls. He is the one who is known for, probably the biggest thing he's known for around here is that during COVID, he's the one who tried to arrest the pastor. But he's just he's been known for like red flag stuff and shit like that. You kind of wish he'd be cool with a name like Chad. And no homo, he's kind of a decent looking dude. Like, he looks cool. He's a cool looking dude. I don't know. He's kind of young, youthful. I don't know. He kind of looks like a Chad. But no, he's a douche. Yeah, he dropped out, this is a win. I guess bullying works because everybody was freaking out. So keep that in mind going forward. Just bitch and moan all you can and try to get that out there to the world, and something might come of it. So, but yes, because so technically this guy actually is my sheriff. So I am in Hillsborough County. So this guy technically is my sheriff. So. Who knows? Maybe he could come after me for calling him a douche, but I doubt it. But yeah, bad on red flags, bad on COVID. He's kind of a political tool, essentially, is what it feels like. And he dropped out, so good. Fuck him. So that's what we got for that. I don't really have much else to say about that. I'm just glad that fell through. Yeah, no way, Jose is all right. Yeah. What's up, Cubertimo? All right, let's get into one more. All right, oh crap. Sorry, it's hard parsing through all these different tabs over here. All right, here is another one. I know I'm teasing you guys. I'm waiting for you to roll in. We're kind of going through some of the other, some of the more minor stories before we get into the juicy stuff. By the way, we also will, probably the last half hour of the show today, we will go through the continue our Dutroux affair reading. But this is from Ken. Clean up on aisle 10. It says, after filing a declaration to keep the FBI's records on Jeffrey Epstein secret in June, she's now on the Sean Diddy Combs case, according to this Monday court filing. The she is referring to James Comey's daughter. Because he quote tweeted another piece from a while ago, or another tweet from a while ago. It says, James Comey's daughter filed a declaration to keep the FBI's records on Jeffrey Epstein's secret on the grounds that Ghislaine Maxwell could be granted a new trial soon, among other reasons. The judge sided with Comey and the FBI this week, allowing the records to stay secret. And this was back in June. So it's like 6 months ago, and now this broad is doing the same thing with the Sean Diddy Combs case. So that's interesting. I guess she kind of followed in her father's footsteps, is what it seems to be, or she's simply just a cutout for her dad. I'm unsure. But there's a story there. We're not going to go through the story today. We have a lot to get through with this United Healthcare assassination. All right, let's check in with you guys real quick, see what you had to say. Oh, juicy stuff. Yeah. All right, let's see if I can't find a video of what I'm referring to. Okay, here we go. Let's share this. I've got the video. Good morning, Doctori 420. Good morning. Boop. 1 second. Here we go. Here it is. It says, just in, blurred. Video shows a gunman executing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson at close range. Thompson's hit in the back with the first shot, causing him to stumble and fall the sidewalk. He tries to crawl away, but the shooter continues firing. All right, we'll watch this real quick. It's 25 seconds long. Apologies to the audio listeners, but it is what it is. It's a video. Yep. Boom. Oh, they blurred it. That's lame, but whatever. You can tell the gun jammed, which is a point people brought up a lot. And then he whips off, and you see him on a bike, or no, he's running. All right, cool. There you go. Yep. So that's that. You can see in the bottom right, that is the United Healthcare guy. You can see him in the blue suit right here. Yeah. So let's check in on. He says yep. Here we go. It was definitely targeted. The guy waited and then just walked off and got on a bike. Yes, that's what it seems like, which is what's weird here. I don't know what the deal is with this. If this is going to be one of those things that they, it's almost like a deep event or whatever, where it's like something becomes of this in the sense of like pushing for gun reform or something, or gun laws or whatever. I'm not sure if that's the angle, or if this becomes just something that gets swept under the rug and just kind of forgotten about because maybe there's some connections people don't want to see. I mean, obviously you guys know my show is very parapolitical, so I'm not gonna lie, it's hard for me not to jump to like, what the fuck, this is some sort of spook shit, because I don't know, I just don't feel like hitman, I don't know why that doesn't sound right to me. Hitmen don't really seem to be an actual thing. Like, at least, like, I mean, they are, but they aren't. Like, so it's almost as if, to me, it's like when you do see a hitman type thing, it's like it almost feels like it has to be some sort of somebody with connections that keep them safe, say like government, essentially. That's because aside from that, it's like, I don't know. I don't really, that, or it has to be somebody with, lots and lots and lots of money, like a high level And even then, at that point, you're dealing with like, tied up into intelligence or something. So I don't know. I mean, obviously I have nothing to back this up. It just seems bizarre. You don't really ever see like targeted stuff like this. Now, I will say, a lot of people have pointed out they don't really feel like he's some sort of pro or whatever. I'm not saying he's necessarily a pro, because I mean, I don't know. And we'll kind of get into a little bit more analysis. I've got a few threads. Like I know I pointed out that the gunshots or that jammed. There's also been people who point out there was a silencer. So I'm a little bit concerned that might become an angle that like, oh, now we're pushing. It's kind of like the bump stock thing, but for silencers. I mean, although like, which is kind of in a certain sense like, who cares? Sort of, not really, because it's like, I guess you're just, but then you start setting a precedent. It's the same thing with like bump stocks, because to some extent it's like people were like, who really cares if you ban bump stocks? But you do set a precedent, and then it's kind of like, it's a slippery slope type deal. So that might be continuing down the slippery slope, but we'll kind of get into, even if they did ban silencers, if this would have made a difference, because there are theories that might be why it was jamming. Like, and I guess to kind of get a little bit ahead of it, that was the reason why it was jamming, is it was probably some sort of homemade something or other silencer, not properly made or not the proper stuff, and that's why it may or may not have jammed. Obviously, I'm not a huge gun guy. I mean, I like guns. I'm a decent shot, but I'm not like a guy who's super knowledgeable on all the ins and outs of guns. So, but that's why I'll have a thread for you guys. So, yeah, the round casings has words inscribed on them. Yeah, actually, good call. Give me a second, and I'm actually going to bring up. See if I can find. I actually had bookmarked where it said that. Now, I don't know. I do want to preface this with. Oh, fuck, where did it go? God damn it. This disappeared. I had it a second ago. But, here, let me see. I bet I can find it manually. Give me a second, guys. There we go. I got it. I found it. Found it. I had to search for it manually. It should have been my bookmark, but it was not. All right, let's go here we go. Here is what you're referring to. This is from BNO News. Killer of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson wrote, "Deny, defend, and depose" on bullet casings. Now, I have no idea how to back this up. This is just one tweet I saw from this thing. Well, actually, I saw it from Parapower Mapping, which we'll get back to in a second because he has a little bit more commentary on that. But this what originally came from, or maybe I say originally, but as far as I've tracked it back originally, BNO News. Whatever this is, it has almost 500,000 followers. Breaking news and developing stories from U.S. and around the world. For insights, follow BNO Desk. Hit the subscribe button to support our work. So I don't know. There's no article. There's nothing else attached. It's literally just a picture and some words. So this could be bullshit. I have no idea if this is legit or not. But so this is out there. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing it out there. That is something I've heard. Although this doesn't. I don't know how legit this is. But on that, with the deny, defend, and depose. So this could either be a skilled assassin muddying the waters. This is from Parapower Mapping at Connie Pengosh. Which is, I believe, he's kind of like a lefty parapolitical guy, but he's got good takes. I mean, he probably wouldn't like me, but whatever, I don't really care. Either way, he's got good information. So this could be either a skilled assassin muddying the waters by leaving red herring shell casing clues for the feds, or else we may actually be dealing with an honorable mass vigilante here. As for its meaning, it's a nifty pun for insurance companies delay, deny, defend. And he shows his book called Delay, Deny, Defend, Why Insurance Companies Don't Pay Claims and What You Can Do About It, J.M. Feynman. Obviously, now this guy, Brian Thompson, he was the CEO of United Healthcare, which is the largest insurance company in the United States, I believe. That's what I've seen thrown around. And they actually have a pretty high rate. I saw somebody in here. Let me see if I can find it. I was looking at this earlier. Someone shared the stats on how often I'm not seeing it, but apparently they're one of the highest ones for not doing claims, for not what's the word? We're not filling. Why paying claims? Why can't I not think of the word pay? Yeah, so apparently they're pretty renowned for not paying their claims. I don't know. I don't have them for insurance, so I wouldn't know. But so yes. But although people did point out that it says it says deny, defend, and depose. So I mean, there might be some sort of other meaning to it, which we will get into. He is dealing with legal trouble right now, so there's an angle to that could be the possibility Obviously, we're kind of reaching in the dark here when we're looking for possibilities, especially when you're dealing with someone who is a CEO of the largest healthcare company or largest insurance company in the country. There could be a lot of other angles. I mean, I just got done watching True Detective. It's like, yeah, there's some, like, obviously, I'm not saying this guy was doing any deep and dark shit. I don't know. But it's like, with somebody of this guy's caliber, he is probably of the demographic that would be in deep and dark shit. So it's like, this could be anything. This could be, crazy, I don't know. I mean, it really could be anything. But, or it could be just as simple as somebody out there who's a family member or somebody died and didn't get the claim, weren't able to pay a claim or whatever, or get a claim paid for, and that's why they're upset. I don't know. It's really hard to tell, but we will get into that. Let me check back in with you guys real quick. All right. Yeah, he's a rookie. His first shot hit him in the leg. Okay, yeah. You could see how he moved the gun down to get a good sight between the sights posts. Fed, sheep dipped, or just a nut? I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't say a nut. I mean, this guy planned it. I mean, I'm not saying he's like, I'm not saying he's fucking Jason Bourne or some shit, but like, I mean, it seems a little bit more than just I'm not at all trying to say he's professional. I'm just saying it seems thought out. It seems planned. So yes, he may not be a professional, but he thought it through, and he, as far as I'm aware, unless any new information's come out, he hasn't been caught. All right, just got in here. Who is this man? I don't know. We don't know. Not a rookie, but not a professional hit. Yeah, there we go. Well, I mean, it could still be a professional hit. I mean, I guess he may not be a professional, but it could be a hit. Like someone did pay him to do it. Like it's not like, I'm not saying, I doubt this guy is like fucking some sort of regularly assassinating people type dude. I highly doubt that. But now, could he have gotten paid to do this? Sure. If anything, I would actually kind of, I kind of think he maybe was probably paid. But yeah, people just mean he was paid and he's not an expert. Yeah, exactly. So I don't think he's an expert, but I really do lean towards he probably was paid. But I obviously I don't know. Every assassin I've ever heard of works for someone directly, like an attack dog type. Yeah. I want this to be John Q, but it'll probably be some sort of spook in the end. Exactly. I know everyone's all that, especially like I know we just shared that guy. He's a little bit of a lefty, so all his comments in him are like, "Hoorah, that's fucking awesome! They're killing capitalists." I'm like, I mean, okay, yeah. I mean, I'm not a fan of. I mean, don't get me wrong. I guess I'm not a fan of insurance companies either, because I'm coming from it's like they're so in bed with the government. They're damn near might as well be the government. So it's like I'm not really like upset about it either. But I don't know. It's a little bit cringe to me. But, yeah, it'll probably end up being some sort of spook shit. Sup, Hotos. What's up, Joey Poopbag? Straight rook, not even... I mean, even with a 22, he shouldn't have any problem hitting the back of his head. And why wouldn't he walk up on him and point blank the back of his skull? He's lucky he killed the guy. Yeah, I don't know. Because every gun guy will tell you to train center mass. No body shots. Headshots professionally other than snipers. Yeah, I mean, I think there's somebody saying, why don't you shoot him back of the head? Yeah, I mean, I was always, I'm not a fucking hitman or nothing, but I was always taught, growing up hunting, hell, even I remember, like, gun training, like shooting in the military, center mass, because it's the hardest place to miss. So I don't know. Yeah. Good morning, Bobo Makua. Yeah, could be faking his own death. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That'd be a fun turn. I mean, he has the money; they can make it work. I mean, what are we talking about? This could be squibs. I mean, I don't know. I feel like that'd be pretty hard to execute. But I guess somebody of his caliber, he would have the funds to make something like that work. Yeah, can't fake his death so his wife could cash on that massive Blue Cross insurance plan. Yeah, I mean, but definitely trained and planned out. Yeah, I mean, I think he probably has done, he's trained to some extent. No, like, I don't think he's an expert, would be my guess. Yeah, insurance equals legalized theft. I mean, I don't know, maybe, I guess, sort of. It's blurry. It's a gray area. I mean, it's funny, because you guys know, a lot of you guys know I'm like I mean, if we were used to, this show used to be a lot more theory, and I am in theory world. I actually think if we were to go to like anarcho-capitalistan or whatever the fuck, that it actually would be probably insurance companies that would kind of fill in the gaps of a lot of things, but it's not the insurance company. It would be vastly different than what we're dealing with now. But the idea would be people insure things because there's nothing inherently wrong with insuring something. It's just the idea of that, like, hey, I'm paying an entity to be like, hey, if something happens to X thing, I want you to pay out. And then obviously now they have incentives to want to keep that thing in a pristine state because they don't want to pay for it. So I mean, but obviously now once you get government involved, it gets a lot more shitty. The fact that he didn't have a gun that cycle probably makes me think he's not a pro. Let's go read the article about what he's dealing with because he's currently dealing with legal trouble. So let's start with there. Probably not, but there are plenty of groups to draw enemies from as an insurance CEO. Exactly, that was what I was getting at earlier because it's like it could be. As an insurance CEO, at a high level business, he's dealing with a DOJ probe right now as well. So like legal stuff, just being at that level that because he's basically an elite. Like, let's be real, this dude is an elite. Like, I don't know what this guy's net worth is. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. Let's look it up. Brian Thompson. Let's look up this guy's Brian Thompson's net worth. I bet you it's fucking crazy. Brian Thompson. Net worth. There we go. Damn it, there's too many Brian Thompsons. I'm not going to find the right one. Okay, here we go. Let me see. Stop. All right. What the fuck? Okay, he says, in terms of financial standing, Thompson's net worth is estimated at approximately $42.9 million. Okay, I was actually expecting a lot more. But, I mean, don't get me wrong. I would still say that's like elite level. So he's among the elites. So that's kind of what I'm getting at. All right, let's check back in with you guys. All right, let's get to this article. All right, here we go. United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson was facing a DOJ investigation and lawsuit when he was shot dead at an investor conference. United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson was accused of insider trading and fraud before he was assassinated on Wednesday in Manhattan. Okay, so it's my first time reading it, by the way. Which you guys have been following, so you know this. That's the whole thing of the show. So we're working this together. Thompson, 50, was shot dead in what NYPD officials believe was a target attack as he exited the Hilton Hotel before an investor conference. Okay, investor conference. His killer remains on the loose. All right. I mean, so this could be an investor thing as well. If he's getting ready to lose them money. I mean, I don't know the ins and outs here. Obviously, I'm just completely talking out my ass. Just kind of making the point of how there's so many different ways it could go. Last year, the DOJ launched a probe into whether the private company of the nation's biggest insurer, led by Thompson, was unfairly restricting competitors and running a monopoly. In May, the City of Hollywood Firefighters Pension Fund initiated a complaint against Thompson and other executives, accusing the CEO of failing to tell investors about the federal probe before he unloaded over 31% of his stock, taking in $15.1 million in proceeds. Oof. Okay, so he put his money into a pension, or he's using the pension fund. So somehow his money's tied into the pension fund, and so now they're upset because it's tied up in him. All right. Okay. All right, there we go. In legal documents, the fund said Thompson and other company execs sold over $117 million worth of United Health common stock during the 4-month period when insiders knew about the federal antitrust investigation, but the public did not. The California Public Employees Retirement System, America's largest state public pension fund, then joined that complaint in October and filed an amendment seeking a jury trial against United Health execs, including Thompson. Okay, so what's looking like so far is this guy is essentially fucked over some firefighters for their pension fund. And then also I don't know if he also fucked over this California or they're doing it as on behalf of the firefighters pension fund. I'm unsure. The Wall Street Journal reported in February that federal investigators had been interviewing healthcare industry representatives in sectors where United Health competes, including doctor groups. Investigators have asked about issues including certain relationships between the company's United Healthcare insurance unit, its Optum Health Services arm, which owns physician groups, among other assets. United Health was notified of the DOJ antitrust investigation. Hemsley unloaded 121,515 shares of United Health common stock for over $65 million in proceeds. Hemsley continues insider trading on December 5th, 2023 for another $36 million in proceeds. Defendant Thompson also dumped his shares, taking $15.1 million in proceeds on February 16th, 2024. The below chart shows Hemsley's and Thompson's stock sales during this time. Once again, I'm still getting that it seems like, I am stuck on this idea that it seems like he put it in a situation where this could really fuck over a lot of people's pensions. So I don't know. Not that saying some firefighter killed him, but I don't know. There's some people who may be upset. Imagine spending 20 years of your life for a pension and then some fucking bigwig fucked it over for you. Although I don't know how that would actually really affect it. I don't know the ins and outs of the finances on these pensions. Who knows? Maybe they have their own sort of insurance for fraud like this. I'm unsure. All right, the Wall Street Journal also reported the DOJ was examining the company's Medicare billing practices to see if doctors are aggressively characterizing their patients' illnesses to wrongly increase payments from the government. Thompson was fatally shot in the chest and leg in a targeted attack by a masked man who then fled down 6th Avenue on a bike. Yeah, someone pointed out that he hit him in the leg, which is kind of wild because he looked like he was like 20 feet away, which I'm not the greatest shot with a pistol, but like still, holy shit. I think I could hit center mass from like what was maybe 15 feet away. Or, I don't know, at that point, just take guns away. I probably shouldn't have guns at that point if I can't fucking make that shot. It is pretty rough. That is a good point to people saying it was he is not an expert. The NYPD has launched a huge manhunt to catch the killer who is believed to have escaped into Central Park. Witnesses said the suspected gunman was seen waiting outside the hotel before the shooting and knew which door Thompson was going to emerge from before shooting him at point-blank range. Footage showed NYPD officers performing CPR on the CEO before he was rushed to Mount Sinai Hospital in critical condition. He was later pronounced dead. Thompson was named United Healthcare CEO in 2021 and earned a reported $10 million a year. And for several years prior, he ran the Medicare business within United Healthcare. He was slated to speak at an investor meeting at the Hilton Hotel soon after the shooting. According to the release from United Healthcare on Tuesday, he would announce the company's hugely profitable 2025 financial outlook, including expected revenues upwards of $450 billion. The suspect is at large and is described as a white male wearing a cream-colored jacket, black face mask, black and white sneakers, and a gray backpack. Sources reportedly said that Thompson, who lives in Minnesota with his wife and children, was not a guest at the hotel, but had arrived early to prepare for his presentation. All right. The gunman apparently knew which door Thompson was going to emerge from and then gunned him down from several feet away. The suspect then jumped on a bicycle and is believed to have fled to Central Park. With the suspect still at large, the NYPD announced a $10,000 reward to anyone with information regarding the shooting and said it plans to release 2 surveillance pictures to help track down the killer. So, all right, keep that in mind for all you research wizards out there. There's $10K to be made if you can come up with anything useful. United is the biggest health insurance by market share in America. The company has been the subject of frequent protests by activists for allegedly systematically denying care for patients. One such protest earlier this year led to the arrest of 11 people outside the United Healthcare headquarters in Minnetonka, Minnesota. The company made headlines in February after it was subjected to a cyber attack, which cost $872 million. Okay, that was back in February. Okay, so that was like 10 months ago. I don't know if that means anything, but they were part of it. Minnesota leaders paid tribute to Thompson after news of his death was announced, with United Healthcare one of the state's major employers. Minnesota governor and 2024 Democratic nominee for Vice President Tim Walz, who was pictured with Thompson in 2022, said the shooting was horrifying news and a terrible loss for the business and healthcare community in Minnesota. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey added his own statement. This is a shocking and devastating loss for a whole community. Shocking is the only word I can find at the moment. Thompson survived by his wife Polly Thompson, and their 2 children who live in the family's $1.5 million home in Maple Grove, Minnesota. Yeah, this is rough. Oh, crap. I didn't mean to do that. I accidentally fuck. All right, whatever. I'll find that later. I accidentally exited out of a fucking tab. I didn't mean to. All right, let's check back in with you guys. I heard someone say something about the jamming probably had more to do with the brass and that he was using subsonic rounds, but I don't know. Yeah, I've heard the subsonic rounds go around a lot. I don't know. I mean, like I said, we're going to get into a gun analysis type thing in a second to get into that. But yeah. Guten Morgen. Good morning. Good morning. Dumpers. Yes. Subsonic 22 LR rounds. Jam bad. Yeah. Aren't most 22 LR rounds subsonic? I don't know. No, most are standard or high velocity for varmint use. And did they say it was 22? I haven't seen if they said it was. Now, if you're running a can and you want to be really quiet, okay. All right, cool. Let's see. All right, cool. Now let's get into this. Let me see. Actually, let's do gun analysis first. Let's do gun analysis, and then we'll come back to trying to track the guy, because there's already been some people have made attempts to track the guy. Let's do the let's do the let's do the gun analysis. Here we go. All right, here's Louisville Lagun, firearms guide, DZ enthusiast. British opinions on gun control stopped being relevant in 1776. Under 5,000 followers, not worth my time unless post is exceptional. Oh, well, I guess you guys can all just go fuck yourself. All right, well, that's I mean, not that I'm under 5, but still, I don't know, that's a little dickish, but whatever, kind of funny. I respect the energy. All right, here we go. There's a bunch of misinformation about today's murder of United Healthcare CEO. I'm going to debunk some of the firearms nonsense that's been statement. Myth 1. The pistol was a Wellrod/BNT Station 6. Categorically false, which I've seen some people point this out, which I know. This is a goofy looking gun. All right, yeah, that is a wild looking thing. That is quite the mechanism. It's like a screwy thing on the back. All right, it's almost as if like you pull it for each one. All right, I've definitely never seen one of those. That is a goofy gun. But all right, the Wellrod pistol uses a bolt action mechanism that requires a twist and pull action to open and close the breech. In this photo, you can see how the rear of the pistol must be twisted and pulled out to chamber a new round, which I think that's the point is because people were seeing in the video you keep pulling it, which I think that was probably because of the jam. So he was probably trying to clear the jam. But anyways, contrast that to this video that I've slowed and zoomed. You can clearly see the slide attempting and following to cycle after the shot, along with a puff of smoke from the cartridge being fired. The Wellrod style breech remains closed until manually opened. Okay, so you can see him going through it, cycling through it slowly. Okay, the remains closed until manually opened. Okay, so they're saying that you got to like open it on your own. Got it. Like after shooting, I guess. All right, yeah. Okay. Myth 2, the shooter was using subsonic ammunition. All right, that's what you guys have already pointed out multiple times. Also false, the shooter was firing 9 millimeters. Photos of the live rounds found at the scene show ordinary low-weight FMJ ammunition, not heavier self-defense loads like 147 grain HST or similar. And yep, so here's a clip from something. I don't know what. We'll have to take his word from it somewhat. He says, you can see, I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'll read the highlighted portion. Authorities found 3 live 9mm rounds and 3 discharge 9mm shell casings, as well as a cell phone at the scene of the shooting, which the live ones obviously go towards the jamming, which that's 3. He went through 3 live. That's wild. Okay, so he had to fucking clear 3 out of the chamber that were live to clear the jam. Awesome. All right, and then we got photos here of the you can see the bullets there. Those are the live ones. You can tell by the brass on the front there that they actually weren't. Those ones weren't fired. And yeah, this is one for comparison. And yep. All right. Myth 3: he purposely used subsonic rounds to keep the gun from cycling or other idiocy. False. The failure to eject malfunction was likely caused because he used a silencer without a Nielsen device. Purpose-built handgun silencers have piston/booster assemblies for this, which I have no idea what the Nielsen device is, but either way, I guess he's making the case that this was shoddily made a silencer of some sort. The additional mass of a silencer in a Browning-style barrel prevents the firearm from cycling properly. The booster gives a bit more oomph to the recoil. The presence of live ammunition at the crime scene is an indicator that the firearm was malfunctioning instead of working as intended. All right, here's a photo of all the different components, I guess. All right, I'm not going to go through that one. That was actually the same thing from earlier. And if the firearm is recovered and they're able to track down purchase, I'm guessing we're going to see this is probably a homemade silencer, either 3D printed, machined from a solvent trap, or similar. Which is kind of something I wanted to get at, because I'm a little bit concerned this may be used for some sort of gun control push. But the idea being is like, what laws could be put in place to have prevented this? Like in all seriousness, like this guy is a huge, a bigwig, like he's a CEO of the biggest biggest insurance company in the country. And he was killed. So like likely it was probably some sort of hit or something. Someone clearly very much wanted this guy dead. So the idea, what would you be able to do about this? Like the idea, what are you going to do in this situation? Like all you're going to do is prevent it from like other people from maybe being able to get a hold of guns. So like this assassin, regardless of what laws you passed, he was going to be able to get that gun. He was going to be able to get the gun. He was going to be able to put a silencer on it, whether it was 3D printed, machined, whatever. It's still something people can do. So the idea that you're going to pass a law to change this is kind of ridiculous. So that's why I kind of want to go into this one to kind of point out this wasn't like some store-bought silencer, as if that would have really made a difference. But it seems like it was likely 3D printed or machined. Certain 9mm silencers are made so that they can be used on pistol caliber carbines or brace pistols like AR-9s. To do so, the Nielsen device would have to be removed if present. Likewise, it is also possible the silencer was stolen, then put onto the host weapon. This seems highly unlikely, but it is possible. My highest probability guess, dude didn't know what he was doing past buy silencer, problem solved, and thought direct attaching would be enough. People in the replies, you don't know he wasn't using subsonic. True, I don't know. Everyone who claimed he was also doesn't know that, so without evidence, those claims can be dismissed. What we do know is that he used regular FMJ ammo per the pictures. If you are deliberately using subs, why not buy ammo that's better than FMJ Full Metal Jacket to ensure it does the job? Why not use ammo that expands? Makes no sense. All right, cool. Stop sharing. Let me check back in with y'all. Let me see what you guys think about this. All right, boo. The police say they found unspent rounds, so we should know about the rounds soon enough. Yeah. I think you're right. My federal match grade ammo. Okay, I don't think it's related. If they want to catch them, they would. The city bike is traceable. There's cameras everywhere, and New York City has a system to triangulate gunshot sounds. Also, his phone can be traced. Yes, I will say this kind of... I mean, I don't think law enforcement's magic, so, like, I don't know. But at the same time, it does feel odd to me that this wasn't like he wasn't caught quicker, so this is kind of what makes me... Or he wasn't found already or something, but I don't know. Maybe there's information they have that we don't. I don't know. I'm talking out my ass here. It seems like there would be more by now. I mean, there's so many cameras in New York City. You would think it'd be easy to follow him along, but yeah, I don't know. All right. CEO of a health insurance company. All right, let me see. Sorry. All right. Yeah, new laws won't help. Getting new laws will help prevent this. Hardball. Okay, yep. All right, let's get into... All right, someone was talking about tracking him. Let's do this. I'm going to play a video for you guys. Here was a guy who tried to track him using city bike data, because initially we were told that this was a city bike thing. So here we go.
Okay, we're good now.
Low tech.
Wait, what just happened?
So there was unfortunately a very sad shooting in Manhattan where the United Healthcare CEO was shot. Seemed like he was targeted. Very, very terrible. But then I was watching the news this morning, and the police chief in the news conference said that the assailant fled on a city bike, on an e-bike, which is like crazy that a criminal would flee on a bike, like especially a city bike. But I've been scraping city bike data for the past few weeks.
This
is not it right here. This is it right here where, I can see where every individual bike has been. So I can see, okay, like this, let's see, like right here, bike number like 2164382 entered a dock at 2:03 p.m. and then it exited the dock. Someone else took the bike at 2:13 p.m. At station number 1058, which is Columbus Ave and West 59th Street.
Yeah.
So using all this data, I can see, I checked all the possible rides that the assailant could have fled on, and there were like only 8 rides within the time frame of the shooting. Only one of them was headed northbound through Central Park, so which is what the police said that the guy went through. So I'm like really confident that this one ride was where the guy ended up. So he ended up on the Upper East Side. So yeah, I tweeted this. I'm like, oh, this is kind of interesting, and a bunch of people reached out, and like the tweets getting a lot of likes now.
Yeah. Why the fuck do you have this data, Riley?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I like making kind of fun, weird websites that show data in an interesting way, and like I thought it'd be cool to make a site that shows like in real time like all the city bike rides in New York. Because like this isn't data that you can normally get. Like I had to reverse engineer the Lyft app to get this, so it's like data that you really can't get normally.
Wait, what did you do? So
like in the Lyft app, if I like want to go and get a bike, let's say I like click on this stock right here, I can see that, oh, like bike 437034 is there and like 382600 is there. This is not public data, but like Lyft does give it in the app. Like it's not easy to get from their like public data APIs, but you can see it in the app. So I reverse engineered this endpoint, and then I set up scripts to like go through and check every minute, every dock in New York. So I've just been sitting on the data. I haven't made the website yet, but I have the data at least. So yeah.
What?
Yeah.
All right, guys. So about that. All right, clearly not a city bike. Here it is. I'm on this. All right, I will say I don't even really know. Honestly, frankly, I don't know what the fuck a city. I've never used a city bike, so I don't know what it even looks like. But according to this person, clearly not a city bike. This just looks like a normal bike. I don't know. Let's look up what a city bike looks like real quick. I mean, I'm gonna look it up on Google, see what it looks like. Images. Okay, let me share this. Okay, here you go. So here, these are kind of what these look like. City bikes. They have these goofy little. They're kind of all right. There's a little screen on the front. Weird tired thing. Okay, so we get the vibe here. All right, let's go back to this one. Share this. Let's look at this one again. Yeah, that doesn't look like it. That looks like a standard tire. Like a normal, there's nothing weird on there. There's nothing, the frame isn't like oddly thicker in a weird way like the other ones. I mean, obviously it's grainy, so not the best, but we'll even add to this more. All right, we're back to old Clonny Pingosh again. And he shared the community note, which is on this guy. This is this Riley RTWLZ guy. This is a guy, the video I just showed you, that's him. This is his thread, and there is a community note on it now. It says, according to NBC News, the NYPD has told Lyft, which operates City Bike, that their bikes were not used in the shooting. So that's where we're at now. That bike was not used, so that was all for naught, it seems. So we are still in the same position. By the way, I just noticed I have on a $10 super chat from Fire Pixie. Love you. It says, just saying thanks, man. You're welcome. I'm doing my best out here. It's glad to have you guys on here with me. All right, let's check back into the chat. Oh my goodness, I found Jose. Yeah, hey, what's up, man? All this changing information makes it sound like a city psyop. Yeah, I know, right? That's exactly like everyone was going on and on about this city, the e-bike thing. So that seemed to be what sent people down certain rabbit holes. Yeah, wild shit. It didn't seem to pan out that the e-bike thing. But even then, e-bike aside, you'd still think, I would think there'd just be so many damn cameras in New York City, you'd be able to just track them. But I guess not. It always seems convenient at certain times when when old surveillance tapes don't show up, a la the Oklahoma City bombing. Yeah, professional hitman uses credit card. Yeah, well, I mean, he didn't though, because that's the thing. Like, it wasn't the e-bike. Let me guess, he was on the FBI's radar too. Nerd alert from space. Yeah, I know it is. I will say the guy's kind of endearing. It is funny. There is always, I mean, while that was a bad lead, it is very heartening to see there are people like that out in the world, because this is how we do solve these sort of things, is having those sorts of people. But hey, the misdirect, whether it was intentional or not, threw us off, and we went down I guess he, or all the other nerds online too, went down the wrong rabbit holes. And yeah, I mean, they came up with a lot down those rabbit holes, but it was based on a faulty premise. Let me guess, he was on the morning radar. Good morning, dumpers. Good morning, Redbeard. Yeah, probably on the FBI's radar too. NYC PD has drones and shit, and all we have is grainy videos. Yeah, I know. It's wild, right? It is bizarre. Well, all right, guys. I think we're going to go ahead and get into our Dutroux coverage, because that's about all I had. I got through that a little bit quicker than I thought I would. I mean, if there's anything else you guys know about this, feel free to drop it in, in the chat so we can talk about it, because that's all the information I really have at this point in time. That's all I was able to scrounge together. So, yeah, but let's go ahead and let's get back into the Dutroux affair stuff. All right, give me a second. Let me share this tab with y'all. All right, cool. All right, here we are. We're back in the Beyond the Dutroux affair. I believe is like part 4 or something now. So I mean, you can go back and watch the past on all the past like 3 morning dumps. I've been doing these. So if you're just now popping into this, all you gotta do is go to those on like roughly the last half hour or so is where I've been doing these readings, because I figured I'd take you guys along with me in the ride while we all get a little bit more knowledgeable on this. And all right, this is where we're starting off at questioning the alters, because we got into talking a little bit about dissociative identity disorder, and so that's where we are at now. By the way, there are a couple times I will have to take this down off the screen, because I was scrolling through this earlier and there's some pictures and I'm not sure if can be on here or not, although that might be in the next section. But just warning you guys, there might be a period of time where I'm just reading it without it, because that just feels weird. All right, questioning the alters. Although a 100% confirmed psychological disorder, MPD/DID remains quite controversial in the public's eye, for those who have even heard about it. It's true that DID is a complex disorder and sometimes hard to wrap the mind around. Pardon the unintentional pun, but this is largely the result of a lack of information, and if any of the politically correct arguments are stripped away, the real underlying reasons for the controversy become quite simple. First of all, DID is intrinsically linked to the most extreme sexual and psychological abuse against kiddos. In 97 to 98% of the DID cases, victims talk about having been abused. Once again, all of these, there's certain words, certain things I'm changing to just for the censors so that I can make sure this is getting out to more people. And I'm trying my best to not change it too much. So obviously certain things like this word I'm dropping. It's going to call certain things CP or PDF, and like a PDF file, stuff like that. It'll be stuff you guys know. So I'm not censoring to the extent that it makes it too hard to understand, I believe. But anyways, it's not uncommon for DID patients to give details about abuse that sound so bizarre, horrifying, and huge that no matter what the evidence, will take some time in repeating for the average person to accept as even a possibility. Protected child abuse and torture networks involving well-known individuals would be a primary example of that. The second reason is that these networks are protected by those involved who apparently have the power to make sure that very little information on these networks appears in the public domain. Additionally, a rather small but very influential group of skeptics organized around the U.S.-based False Memory Syndrome Foundation, which we've covered that in the show. I actually did, I believe we did a couple episodes on it. I probably need to come back to that at some point. We were doing a series and we kind of just never continued it. But yes, there's a lot. If you haven't looked into False Memory Syndrome, that is completely just an op, basically just to discredit any SRA type stuff. It definitely feels like an intel op. It's most of the people on the board are like prior MK Ultra doctors, so I don't know. Pattern recognition is a bitch, and if you have the slice bit intelligence, you can kind of put 2 and 2 together there. Have been doing a counterattack since the early 1990s when reports of ritual abuse became a little bit too widespread. This group has done everything in its power to convince the public and the psychology community that all DID is created by incompetent psychologists. Because of an incorrect way of asking questions, these psychologists would have inserted certain false memories in their patients' minds, even though more than a dozen board members of the FMSF have been accused of child abuse themselves, have come out in favor of PDF stuff, or have a past in mind control research for a whole range of intelligence agencies. Virtually no mainstream media ever felt the need to consistently point that out. As might be expected, Dutch and Belgian supporters of this FMS foundation couldn't resist an attempt to discredit X1 with textbook disinformation tactics. But even though FMS Foundation supporters have tried to muddy the waters somewhat, every textbook psychology book makes a clear distinction between DID and schizophrenia. The latter is characterized by delusions, hallucinations, and a lack of sense of identity. The different alters of a person suffering from DID, however, all have an identity of their own. And although memory is never 100% accurate and there remains the possibility of manipulation, these alters have experienced something traumatic that actually did happen to this person. A brief article on the website of Merck, a large pharmaceutical company, gives one of the best summaries of what dissociative identity disorder actually is. Dissociative identity disorder appears to be a rather common mental disorder. Other sources say that DID is quite rare. It can be found in 3 to 4% of people hospitalized for other mental health disorders and in a sizable minority of people in drug abuse treatment facilities. However, some authorities, the FMSF, believe that many cases of this disorder reflect the influence of therapists on suggestible people. Dissociative identity disorders appear to be caused by the interaction of several factors. These include overwhelming stress, inability to separate one's memories, perceptions, or identity from conscious awareness, abnormal psychological development, and insufficient protection and nurture during childhood. About 97 to 98% of adults with dissociative identity disorder report having been abused during childhood. Some symptoms may reflect the intrusions of past experiences into the present. For example, sadness may indicate coexisting depression, or it may be that one of the personalities is reliving emotions associated with past misfortunes. People with this disorder are prone to injuring themselves. They may engage in self-mutilation. Many attempt suicide. In dissociative identity disorders, some of a person's personalities are aware of important personal information, whereas other personalities are unaware. Some personalities appear to know and interact with one another in an elaborate inner world. For example, personality A may be aware of personality B and know what B does, as if observing B's behavior. Personality B may or may not be aware of personality A, which think about that one for a second. I mean, we're going a little bit into commentary here, but think about that. That is that was, from my understanding, one of the goals of MK Ultra. Is they were looking to be able to set it up so that you could have alters, and then you kind of are able to decide, or depending on how you cultivate these alters, can make it so one or the other may or may not have knowledge of the other. Now think about that for a bit. The idea that you could have another identity inside of you could have another alter inside of your head that you don't know when it comes out, and you don't, or you may even know it exists, but you can't recollect the things that it did. Like, think of the usefulness of that in an espionage. So that was like kind of like almost the golden grail of what they were going for. And I think if you look at some characters in the parapolitical past, and you kind of apply this concept and think about it, and it almost fits. It fits a little bit perfectly. I'm not saying that is the case for every one of them, but you look at people like Sirhan, McVeigh, I don't know, maybe even some of the serial killers and stuff out there. Yeah, I mean, it kind of fits. You're like, oh shit, that's how this could work at the same time. Like, especially like McVeigh. I'm not saying that this is the case with McVeigh, but if you read Wendy Painting's book, Aberration, the Heartland, the Real, and you try to get a grip on him, like on understanding his past and what he was doing, like I mean, I don't know how to describe this. It does seem like there's almost like I don't know. I'm rambling a little bit here. All right, let's keep it going. All right, because the personalities often interact with each other, people with dissociative personality disorder report hearing inner conversations, and the voices of other personalities commenting on their behavior or addressing them. Not to be confused with hallucinations. They experience distortion of time with time lapses and amnesia. People with dissociative identity disorder may not be able to recall things they have done or account for changes in their behavior. Often they refer to themselves as we, he, or she. While most people cannot recall much about the first 3 to 5 years of life, people with dissociative identity disorder may have considerable amnesia for the period between the ages of 6 and 11 as well. X1 suffered from all the symptoms described above and more. She told how many of her alters still had the same age as when they were created, or how her handwriting differed depending on which alter was active. As is obvious from her background of extreme abuse, these symptoms started at an early age. And interestingly, her pimp not only wasn't surprised when he first encountered X1's alters, he actually cultivated them, which is kind of what I mean. Think about that. Think about the implications of that. I scroll back up real quick. I wanted to show you, just to recap, that whole series of quotes I just read. I just want to remind you, this is an article from Merck, a pharmaceutical company. Because I know a lot of people like to relegate DID to the realm of bullshit, but which it could be. I don't know. It's not like I've ever met someone with DID. To me, it's still kind of in theory world, but I guess a little bit of an argument to appeal to authority here, but that was on Merck. So there you go. All right. More than I ever discovered that I was missing time, I turned out to have gone to school, get good grades. I even turned out to know several classmates who spoke to me, but somehow this all had gone past me. It seemed as if someone else took over from me as soon as the door of my house closed behind me. It seemed as if the abused Ginny was put away until Tony again stood at my bed or at the school gate. The abused Ginny hardly was aware of school and family life. The other Ginny seemed not present during the abuse and so lived normal. It had always been this way. In Nook, at grandmother's, the adults had noticed that I talked to the voices in my head, that I often rapidly changed moods, or even began to speak with another voice or accent. Even though I was only 5 or 6, I understood that something like this was weird, and that it was not allowed. I learned to hide my voices, my other selves. After what had happened to Chloe, the voices and the bizarre feeling that I at times was led by the inner voices got stronger. After the initiation, I no longer resisted against the voices. It was blissful to disappear into nothingness and only to become conscious again if Tony was there. The pain seemed more bearable. Tony was the only adult who understood that something was wrong in my head. He didn't get mad about it, but cultivated it. He gave me different names. Pitamios, Maist, Hor, Bo. The names slowly started to become part of me. The strange thing was that if he mentioned a name, the mood that fit that name was immediately called up. Pythimus, a small mouse, became the name of the little girl that he brought home after the abuse. A scared and nervous girl that he could comfort by talking to her in a caring and fatherly kind of way. Maist, girl, is what I guess it means, was the name of that part of me that only belonged to him. If he abused me in my bed in the early morning, for example, or if there was no one around us. Whore, H-O-E-R, which means whore, I guess, the name of that part of me was that worked for him. Bo, the young woman who cared for him if he was drunk and needed to be looked after. Now you just leave that to me, he said when I asked him curiously why he gave me so many names. Daddy Tony knows you better than you know yourself. That was also true. Some of X1's over 100-plus alters were Kenny, a young alter who had dealt with some of the worst torture, Stone, one of the toughest who answered to Tony and could control her fears, and Moon, born to deal with extreme cold. Even after years of seeing a psychiatrist, X1 still suffered heavily from MPD/DID when she first contacted the Neufchâteau investigating cell in September 1996. It took some time before interviewers Patrick de Baetz and Philippe Houpes began to understand how to work with her, but in the end, testifying turned out to be the most effective way to reintegrate X1's mind. This was a long, extremely challenging process, though, and not only for X1. At the time, the long silences and panic attacks almost drove the interviewers crazy. An example of one of the interview sessions, Maish, girl, sits on the windowsill, saturated with pain and sadness. She feels the presence of the other victims so well that she can almost touch them with her thoughts. Shivering, she crawls against the woodwork of the window and presses herself against it as if she wants to disappear in it. Patrick comes standing next to her, leaning against the windowsill. "Who are the girls you still remember, girl?" he asked, coincidentally pronouncing her name. Vero, Meek, Chloe, Noel, Chrissy, she says fluently because she remembered every face, every child. Patrick was perplexed. After such a difficult hearing, all of a sudden he heard his witness in a young girl's voice give a series of names that made him silent. Are they still alive? Mish, girl lifted her shoulders. Some are, I think. Others are not. Who died? He asked calmly. Chrissy, I whispered. Patrick asked her. They burned her. Where? In a basement, she whispered, even more quiet. And she withdrew her deep into herself, or within herself, fighting against the odor of the liquid that they had poured over her. And then, when she wanted to ask more, she shook her head. I want to go home, she begged, away from those horrible memories. But Chrissy didn't leave her head anymore. Her screams, her begs for help, to Regina's murdered child, everything came back that week, as if time was something malleable, and became alive again as soon as the images were recalled. My son, whom I had cherished, Chrissy, who soon thereafter was gruesomely punished, the screaming in my head, the madness I had felt in the days after, the madness that had started one day, but I refused to let the images come through. Pain, indeed. It hurt so much that I could only tell via a detour who that day were with Chrissy. It almost drove Patrick and Felipe up the wall. Before them they saw a grown, frightened woman while they had to communicate with Kenny, the heavily traumatized alter who had become almost altruistic after the death of Tu and Chrissy. Kenny carried that information with him, but could not speak, stubborn, frightened, evasive. He pushed the questions of the BOB officers away, only through the support of other alters who listened along and were located close to him. It was possible for Kenny, stammering and rambling, to tell his story. All right, I think I'm going to stop there. I guess the other section's way too damn long to get through right now, but that will probably be the next one. Oh, Jesus Christ, I'm scrolling through it now. It's long as fuck. All right, yeah, we're definitely going to be using up the full probably 30 minutes at the end to go through that. All right, let me check in with the chat and see what you guys have to say. Oh, by the way, guys, if you hear, I've been going nuts this morning. Do you guys hear the beep? I've heard the beep. I swear, but like 20 minutes before this started, I heard a beep. And the problem is, anytime there's like I have to deal with a fire alarm in this house, there's like, I swear to God, there's like one in every fucking room. They're all over the place in this house. And every time it beeps, then I'll stop and listen to it. And then what is it supposed to be every 30 seconds, I think? And then it just won't. And so then, I don't know, I'll just end up pulling down a bunch of random ones and swapping out 9 volts because I'm not sure which one it is. But my point being is it's almost like whack-a-mole trying to find the right fucking one. And then it kind of just hit or it'll just beep, and then I won't hear it again for hours. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I'll sit there and listen to it for like minutes waiting and nothing. So, yeah. Oh, I think that's all right, sorry, I stopped there for a second. I heard a weird noise. I think it's my ice maker. But either way, I swear I'm trying to replace them. I literally took down 2 before this started. And swapped out the 9 volts, and I guess that wasn't the right one because I heard a beep somewhere else. So I'm like, shit, the wrong one. Yeah, I feel really, really, really ridiculous. But I'm gonna look for that throughout today and try to figure out which fucking one it is. But yeah. All right. Keep up the good work. Thanks, bud. That's a supporter of my work. Joel, what's up, man? What I believe from what I heard is that people have such traumatic experience, their minds creates a false memory to save itself from extreme stress. Exactly. That's kind of my understanding of it. Is like, that's why it's born out from things like abuse. And we even kind of went into it just there. Is it's used as a coping mechanism essentially. But yeah, all right. All right, it's a technique using MK Ultra. Yes, Manchurian candidates that turn into assassins, 100%. Merck is also the pusher of HPV vaccines on kids. Yes, I mean, this wasn't a deferring to them to say they're great or whatever. The point being it's just that it's a more established entity that's kind of claiming it's legit. There's Fire Pixie. I've been diagnosed with DID. I've always referred to me as she, me, and her. I don't believe there was any horrible trauma, but there was a lot of trauma in my early. I don't think it necessarily has to be the naughty trauma. I'm trying to avoid the censors with the words here, but yeah, I mean, I do think if you had trauma in early life, obviously I'm not trying to pry. It would make sense that you would also get it. I don't think I doubt it necessarily has to be the other kind. I just think that probably adds to the trauma. Like, let's be real. Her is the angry, aggressive one. She is the meek child one. And then there is me. And then yeah, he says, I haven't heard a beep. Maybe I'm just losing my fucking mind, dude. Maybe there is no beep. Was there ever a beep? I don't know. But either way, it's driving me nuts, and it feels embarrassing. I'm just saying. Well, they also make Risperdal. I have no idea what that is. All right, let me check, make sure no other Rumble rants. Nope, no more Rumble rants over on Rumble. I think we might cut this one short. I don't really have anything else. I was expecting some of those to take a little bit more a little longer. But yeah, well, I think we may or may not do one of these tomorrow. But all right, guys out there, I do want to remind you guys, hey, a lot of this show, I do get you guys tag me and stuff, and then I bring it up. I do have other stuff to go through tomorrow. I just didn't bring up the tabs because there was a few other things that I wanted to dig into that just would have taken way too long. For example, there's a thread on whether Mike Benz is a Fed, which I don't know if he is either. That's something I've been told by people I respect before, and someone made some sort of crazy thread about it, and it went really viral, and so I wanted to be devil's advocate. I'm not even trying to take one side or the other. I just want to look. My point being is I do have other stuff, and so maybe we'll go into that tomorrow. We'll see. I have a few different things we can go through. But point being, as I'm getting at, is this show is very much cultivated by you guys. So if you guys tag me in things or whatever on Twitter, or if you message me, let me know if there's an article, thread, video, whatever, topic. Let me know. Hit me up at Tower Gang Jose on Twitter, and then that's the way. And then I'll throw it in my bookmark folder, and then I'll bring it up on the show. But I may or may not be doing tomorrow. It depends on whether there's a shift for me to work tomorrow. If there isn't a shift, I'll be here with you guys tomorrow around probably 9 to 10. Like I said, I went a little bit early today, so it is what it is. I appreciate everyone who popped up today. Do want to remind you guys that if you want to support me, you can do that over at patreon.com/NoWayJose2020. The lowest level is $2. That allows you to get the early access to episodes, at least the No Way Jose episodes, because I do roughly about one of those a week, the paywalled episodes. Actually, tonight I have William Ramsey coming on. We're going to talk about Aleister Crowley, and I promise I didn't plan this, but then that episode will go public next week on Friday the 13th. So that worked out perfectly. Complete coincidence. I just had always... I've always wanted to do an episode on Aleister Crowley because he's someone who interested me, and then I've heard, I've listened to William Ramsey shows, and I always would hear him say he's wrote a book on William Ramsey. For some reason, I never thought to be like, oh, I should have him come on and talk about that. And I just was listening to a Hosanna episode of his recently on the Hosanna cult thing, and I was like, oh shit, I need to come and talk about Aleister Crowley. So that'll work out perfectly. It'll drop on Friday the 13th for all you poors who don't want to give me money. But for all you guys who do, or patrons, that'll come out tonight. You can watch it even live if you want to, or you can watch it after the fact. But that's only $2. That gives you an early access to that. I also have part 7 of my Watergate series with Austin. That's that'll come out tomorrow. But I mean, if you want to watch a little bit early, you can do that today. But the $2 also allows you to be a talking head on Already Dead with me and Austin Picard on our live call-in show. During the call-in portion of the show, you can come on and be just a talking head, just like me and Austin, and shoot the shit with us. That's only for the low amount of $2. Which hey, every now and then we might have some good guests. We had Sam Tripoli on not too long ago, so yeah, I mean we had a couple of you guys come on and talk to Sam Tripoli, so that's fucking dope. But the highest levels of my sponsors, I read them off every episode. I have my co-hosts on Tower Gang at Tower Gang Toad. I have at Abrogate D's at ZOVERACK at _Infinite Zeal. Then Jacob Daniel of the Biblical Anarchy podcast. You can follow him at Biblical Anarchy. Then Tim Tuttle, the homie. You can follow him at Jolly on Klebold. Then Will Bell, who makes a delicious blueberry wine. It's called Rabbit Eye Wine. And then a big fan of the show, Real Josh Elliott. And then Torin May. I appreciate you guys supporting me to do what I'm doing. You help me keep on keeping on. I mean, shit, stuff's been tight. Things have been rough lately. So this is really, 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 really coming clutch. With that, I actually had meant to have some ready to go. But I think I may start reading, iTunes reviews on here. So, make sure you guys are giving on Spotify and iTunes particularly. Those are the two most important ones. But there are other, podcatchers as well. But whatever podcatcher you use, especially iTunes and Spotify, don't forget to be leaving reviews. I mean, shit, it's ridiculous how few people. I always try to whenever even if it's a new show, I'll drop a review. I'll drop a 5-star if it's good because, you'll see someone who has thousands of followers and it's like, I swear it's like less than 10% of people actually review. And it only takes 2 seconds, especially on Spotify. Spotify is super easy. I don't know about iTunes, but I'll probably start reading the iTunes ones just to incentivize it. I'm not sure if I'll read the bad ones, because let's be real, I'm trying to incentivize good ones, but the bad ones are funny, so maybe I will. I don't know. But I also don't want to incentivize you giving you bad ones. So, but either way, point being is please start doing that. I'm really trying to get my stuff together here, trying to make this an honest venture, trying to get a little more money out of it, frankly. So, it is what it is. Trying to get this information out there, because I do, I cover stuff I find interesting, and so hopefully you guys find it interesting. So it is what it is. Yeah, he's Fire Pixie says, I was just listening to the Jackman Brothers yesterday, and they were talking about wanting to get their name out more and grow the channel. I suggested you because I know they're all political. They want to get their name out there. How would I help with getting their name out there? I like the Jackman Brothers. I've been on their show. I mean, I don't know if they're up at this time. I'd be happy to have any of them on in the morning shows. Any content creators out there, I'd be happy to bring them on for like the morning shows here and there, or whatever. I like that. So I don't know what you mean by helping get their name out. If you just mean like collaborating together. Okay, you said collaborating together. Yeah, I've been on their show before. I like them. They're cool. So I don't know. I'd be cool with having them come on. As far as like the actual No Way Jose episodes, like I don't know, it has to be like a specific topic. I'm not like someone who just brings on a random guest and is like just kind of shoots the bull and tries to pull it out of my ass stuff to randomly talk about, just kind of like a general conversation thing. I used to do that a lot when I started. Now it's very much like I have to have a topic. Like, I have Ramsey on for Aleister Crowley, Watergate series, whatever. I mean, very rarely. Every now and then, it depends. I mean, there's some people that I would have come on just to have like a general conversation. But generally speaking, it's like a topic. So if there's like a topic they're good on that I want to talk to them about, sure, I'll bring them on. Aside from that, I mean, I'd be cool to bring them on Already Dead. Also cool with bringing them on this. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they've ever come on Already Dead. They'd probably be good on Already Dead. At least I know, I always mix up the brothers, but I know one of them's pretty good on parapolitical stuff. He hits me up every once in a while. I'll be like, oh yeah, shit, this, that, this. They're pretty knowledgeable in like JFK, RFK, stuff like that. So that'd probably be good. Yeah. I mean, if you're in their chat, let them know. Hey, Jose said he'd be willing to have you on like his live shows sometimes. So between Already Dead, the night show, or this, yeah, I'd be down. So it'd be cool. And then Tyler says I only get bad ones. I mean, I don't know. I've gotten good ones. I've looked through them. But the bad ones are always pretty funny. But yeah, all right, guys. Like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Leave reviews, please. Also, share this stuff around. Make clips, whatever. If you do, tag me, and I'll be sure to boost it if it's sharing my work. But at Tagging Jose, sure you can find me online. Deuces, come back maybe tomorrow. If not, next week will be probably Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, maybe Monday, Tuesday, depending on what's going on. But love you all. Deuces.